are going to see about transportation in plants and circulation in animals. Have you ever wondered how water and nutrients absorbed by the root are transported to the leaves? How is the food prepared by the leaves carried to the other parts of the plant? Do you know how water reaches the top of tall plants in spite of not having a circulatory system like animals? To understand this, we need to recall the anatomy of the plants. Water and mineral salts absorbed by the roots reach all parts of the plant through the xylem. The food synthesized by the leaves are translocated to all parts of the plant through the phloem. Transport means to carry things from one place to another. In larger organisms, transport of nutrients, salts, oxygen, hormones, and waste product around the body are performed by the circulatory system. The circulatory system consists of the circulating fluids and lymph and the heart and blood vessels, which form the collecting and transporting system. Next, means of transport in plants. The transport of materials in and out of the cells is carried out by diffusion and active transport in plants. First one, diffusion. The movement of molecules in liquid and solids from a region of higher concentration to a region of their lower concentration without the utilization of energy is called diffusion. Active transport. Active transport utilizes energy to pump molecule against a concentration gradient. Active transport is carried out by membrane bound proteins. These proteins use energy to carry substances across the cell membrane, hence they are often referred to as pumps. These pumps can transport substances from a lower concentration to a higher concentration. The other name of active transport is called uphill transport. Osmosis. Osmosis is the movement of solvent or water molecules from the region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. Osmosis is the passive movement of water or any other solvent molecules. Imbibition. Imbibition is a type of diffusion in which a solid absorbs water and gets swelled up. Example, absorption of water by seeds and dry grapes. Root hair. There are millions of root hairs on the tip of the root, which absorb water and minerals by diffusion. Root hairs are thin-walled, slender extension of epidermal cell that increase the surface area of absorption. Once the water enters the root hairs, the concentration of water molecules in the root hair cells become more than that of the cortex. Thus, water from the root hair moves to the cortical cells by osmosis and then reaches the xylem. From there, the water is transported to the stem and leaves. Types of movement of water into the root cells. Once water is absorbed by the root hairs, it can move deeper into root layers by two distinct pathways: apoplast pathway, symplast pathway. Apoplast pathway. The apoplastic movement of water occurs through the intercellular spaces and the wall of the cells. Apoplastic movement does not involve crossing the cell membrane. Second one, symplast pathway. In symplastic movement, the water travels through the cell, that is their cytoplasm. Intercellular movement is through the plasmodesmata. Water enters the cell through the cell membrane. Transpiration. Transpiration is the evaporation of water in plants through stomata in the leaves. Stomata are open in the day and closed at night. Water is lost from the leaves. Pressure is created at the top to pull more water from the xylem to the mesophyll cells. This process is called transpiration pull. This causing the roots to absorb more water from the soil to ensure continuous flow of water from the roots to the leaves. Root pressure. As ion from the soil are actively transported into the vascular tissue of the root, water moves along and increases the pressure inside the xylem. This pressure is called root pressure and is responsible for pushing water to smaller height of the stem.